Okay guys, as I've said before, as we come near the end of the school year, one thing that was a little bit ignored in IM2 this year was factoring. And whether you're in IM2, IM3, trig pre-calc, it doesn't matter. This is one algebra concept or skill that you got to be very good at. And if you're not, I hope this video helps you get a little bit better with it. So let's start with number one here. Notice I have a k squared, I have a minus 3k, but I don't have a number here. This should tell you GCF, greatest common factor. So what are we going to do here? Well, the only thing they have in common, if you look carefully, is a k. This has a k, this has a k squared, so we're literally going to divide by k. K is my GCF, my greatest common factor. And let's see what we got here. K squared divided by k is k. K divided by k cancels a 1. I'm left with minus 3. So this is the factored form of the original expression. Next one. Notice the difference between this one and this one. This one's missing the number, right? So number 8, in other words, is a GCF. Let's go ahead and do it. On this one, notice the only thing they have in common is a B. So my GCF is a B. And let's see what we got. We got 3. B squared over B is simply a B. We have a minus. Watch your signs now. B over B cancels a 1. I'm left with 8. There is our factored form. Now, when there's a number at the end, we should know we are going to do the X method. This number at the end will be our product number, as we say. The number in the middle, that's going to be our sum. So, 1 times 10 is 10, but does that give me negative 7? No. What's another way to make 10? 2 times 5 is 10. And 2 plus 5 is 7. Now I do need a negative, so I just simply make them both negative. And this tells me my factored form is x minus 2, x minus 5. Okay, this one, hopefully by now you realize the only thing I need to do here is divide by m. Normally the numbers have something also in common, as you'll find out in other problems. But in this case, my GCF is m. So what is m going to times in parentheses, right? I have a 2. I know that m squared over m is an m. I have a minus. Again, watch your signs. The m's cancel the 1. I'm just left with 9. There is my factored form once again. Now, this time I have a number in front. This should, of course, be an X method, right? I would actually do 7 times 32. I would need a minus 36 in the middle. So don't forget, when there's a coefficient in front, guys, it has to be literally factored in to your calculations. That 7 has to times 32. So I'm just going to do a little mental math here. 14, 224, right? Now, here, of course, I taught you, since 7 and 32 can't make this minus 36, I'm going to take my calculator and do 224 divide until I get the right two numbers that make the minus 36. But I wanted to take the opportunity to teach at least some of you my favorite way of factoring, which is basically guessing and checking the inner and outer loops. So, are you ready? Here's how I would do it. Now, I'm going to assume that you can do the X method. If not, please ask in class, but here is my method. You ready? I know that 7b squared can only happen one way. That's 7b times b. I'm already halfway there. What about 32? Well, the most common way is 4 times 8, right? Well, let's see what we have here. In the inner loop, this 4 times b is 4b. In the outer loop, 8 times 7 is 56b. Can 4 and 56 make this 36 or minus 36? No. But what do we do next, guys, is let's try just simply switching them. Let's put the 8 here and the 4 here and see what happens. Now the 8 with the b in the middle makes 8b. The 4 on the outside times with the 7b makes 28b. And wouldn't you know it, 8 and 28 add to 36. Now I need a negative, so I just simply need to make sure they're both negative. Now, let's say switching did not work. 32, I would probably try 2 times 16 next, because that would be the next common way of doing 32. Okay? But my way, you basically just go with the most common combinations, switch them sometimes. If it doesn't work, then you just look for a different combination. You just guess and check until you get the right combination. All right, let's do this one. Again, if we were doing the x, we would have to do 9 times 40, 360, with a negative 94 in the middle, right? Well, let's do it my way. 9x squared. For me, the most common way is 3x times 3x, right? What about the 40? The most common way to do 40 is 8 times 5. Now, 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 5 is 15. That doesn't get close to 94, does it? So whenever this number in the middle is really big, guys, here's what I usually do. Instead of the more common 3 times 3, let's go with 9x times 1x. 9 times 1, of course, is 9x squared. And we might as well try 8 times 5 first. So, with this 8 in the middle here, that's 8x. The 5 times 9 is 45. Now, 8 and 45 still doesn't get close to 94. Let's go ahead and switch the 8 and the 5. So I'm going to put the 8 here and the 5 here. Now here I get 5x, here I get 72x. That makes 77. It's still not as big as 94. What else can we do, guys? Well, the 40 is the key here. If 5 times 8 doesn't work, what is the next most common way to make 40? 10 times 4. So watch this, guys. I'm now going to try 4 here times 10 here. In the middle, 4 times x is 4x. The 10 times 9 is 90x. Aha! 4 and 90 make 94. Now, because of the negative, I just need to, again, make sure these are both negative. So there's our answer. 9x minus 4 times x minus 10. Now, I just want to clear up, guys, feel free if you like the x method better, especially if you use a calculator. Please use a calculator with it. That's fine. But if you just like guessing and checking and playing with the numbers like I do, please practice my way. See if it comes through for you. All right, let's do one more. What's the most common way, guys, to do 10? Isn't it 2 times 5? Of course it is. What's the most common way to make 42? 6 times 7. Now, I'm going to stop right here, guys. See how I have the 6 and the 2? They have a common factor of 2. So I already know that's not going to work. Let's just go ahead and switch them. 7 times 6. Let's see what happens. 7 times 5 is 35x in the middle. 2 times 6 is 12x. If I simply do 35 minus 12, I get 23. So that's what I want, 23x. So therefore, I need a plus here to get my 35. A minus here will get me my minus 12. So anyways, bottom line, I hope you're following along and you're learning something from this video. Again, my way of factoring, I just guess and check. Play with the combinations. If it fails, I try a different set of numbers until I get the factored form. But again, if you want to brute force it with the X method and a calculator, please do so. But hopefully you agree this is a pretty good video on factoring. And again, hopefully you got something out of it. I'll see you in class.